Welcome to the latest of my inside tracks. Today I'm going to explore the square between Venus, the planet of relating, and Mars, the planet of lust, which occurs exactly on the 5th of February at 3:28 a.m. Universal Central Time. But this influence started on the 2nd of February and peaks on the 8th of February on the Wednesday. This is going to be a short, sharp analysis. If you're a returning viewer to my channel, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new to me, it's great to have you with us. This is very much a community. If you'd like to comment, I interact with all comments, but please like and subscribe too. If you'd like to know more about me, please see the description box below. Now, first of all, what I'm going to do is just tell you how I'm going to structure this video. So let's look at the archetypes of the energy from Venus and Mars, but particularly in the sign of Pisces with Venus and with Gemini with Mars. We can then relate to this collectively. So in terms of Mars being in house 3 and Venus being in house 12. So I'll share the solar chart wheel for that. I'm then going to share the event chart wheel in equal house and just show how they're interacting on that basis. And then I'm going to just briefly outline what the likely impact of this sizzling influence is going to have. If you'd like to know more about astrology, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can produce your life roadmap report, which will help you to get a much more intimate understanding of some of the patterns that have played out in your world. You can get closer to the ones that are maybe a bit awkward, but also seize the qualities you have more firmly. Within my special package, you can also get your 12-month personal forecast. Please see the link below. There is 30% off. So let's look at the archetypes of Venus. Venus governs 2 zodiac signs. Its rulership of the sign of Taurus is very much about values, self-worth, money, sensual pleasures, food, and anything that's a little bit lush. But its rulership of the sign of Libra is very much about relating, a graciousness, fashion, making the right impression. Venus in the sign of Pisces is exalted, so in other words, it likes being here. But Mars is the ruler of the sign of Aries, which is very much about initiation, passion, getting on the front foot, instant gratification through its rulership of the sign of Scorpio, and of course in some ways it can be seen as the planet of sex and lust. So if we look at the overall zodiac, and I'm sharing on the screen now the solar chart, we can see that Venus is in house 12, which can be to do with secrets, it can be to do with reflection, can be to do with reminiscing about old relationships or feeling really quite nostalgic. But Mars in Gemini is a very restless, quick-witted energy. It's great for athletes and it's great for anyone involved in the media who wants to express an opinion in a punchy and dynamic way. But in this context, we have a 12th third house square. So it could mean that something that's been kept rather confidential till now could be pushed out into the open over the next series of days. So when it comes to confidentialities, someone may breach one. So this is not a great time to open up about something you may want to keep tight to your chest. But also, if we look at the event chart in terms of equal house, Venus is in the 4th house, very tender, very much to do with emotions, but Mars is in house 7. House 7 is where we relate to others, and in the event chart, Mars is very close to the descendant, and this points towards some defensiveness or the need to aggressively assert a point. Now, if you're lucky enough to be in a good relationship, this particular influence can increase the sexual attraction between you and a partner. But if you're in a relationship which is more bumpy, maybe some things can come into the open that have been kept quiet. So anything to do with compulsions, because Venus can be to do with money, and have been kept quiet, can now come out. But also, this could see in a negative context a more dominant partner want to in some way inflict their opinion on the other person. But if you're single, the chances are that your desire for some kind of intimacy can increase. And if you end up having some kind of connection to someone over the next few days, it could be very intense, but not possibly very long lasting, because these are both mutable signs. Also, it is a possibility that some kind of clandestine relationship could develop with Venus being in the rather quiet sign of Pisces. But no doubt about it, this can create some excitement. If you're in a relationship where the energy between you is well matched, it could be a sort of combative but playful in some way, sparring that draws you together. But a relationship that's not quite so healthy, it could cause some issues. It's also possible, with Venus being in the 4th house of the event chart, that some dynamics around family relationships which are not so good can also come out into the open. So there's a mixed bag here, but Venus in Pisces is very sentimental and it can be very healing. But Mars in Gemini has a desire to really get its point of view across in quite a forceful way. And that could be either a trigger for attraction or a trigger to cause some tension.